I request everyone please be seated. A very good afternoon to one and all. A hearty welcome to our honorable in-charge principal, Dr. Prakash Patil sir, to Dr. Mr. Dinesh Istani sir, Mr. Nikhil Kulkarni sir, and Professor Pradeep Mani sir, Dr. Pradeep Mani sir. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome each one of you to the Impact Lecture series on innovation and design thinking, hosted by IIC Arvind. We are gathered here today with a shared commitment to delve into the realms of innovation, knowledge, and inspiration. This Impact Lecture series is not just an event, it's a platform designed to ignite conversations that matter, to foster connections that spark change, and to empower individuals to make a tangible impact in the spheres of influence. As is our tradition, we'll start the function with the inauguration session and lighting the luminous lamp. May I request the dignitaries on the dais to proceed to the lamp lighting ceremony. May I request everyone to stand? And request everyone to be seated. Today, we are privileged to embark on a journey of discovery and enlightenment as we delve into the topics of innovation and design thinking that shape our world, challenge our perspectives, and inspire action. Through thought-provoking discussions, insightful presentations by our eminent speakers, and engaging interactions, we aim to broaden our horizons and deepen our understanding of the current innovations. May I now request Dr. Ashwini Shatagar, ma'am, the IIC convener, to give the introduction and welcome speech. Ma'am, please.
Hello everyone. Good afternoon. Yeah, I know since from the morning you are all there, and the time period is quite crucial that you are there with your submission topic. But I'm assuring you, on the behalf of all the department and HOD and principal, that you are not going to do the any academic loss, but here you will get some more information about the parts. What are the trends going on? What are the things? And that's why the Armine IIC is committed. IIC is the Institute Innovation Counseling, and under that part, we are very proudly say that we got a 20,000 funds for this today's session. It is mandatory for us. It is mandatory for us to conduct the 2 sessions, and so today we are going to have the very new innovative session with Nikhil Kulkarni sir. He is there with the Dr. app and how he will start his journey discuss with us. And it is a very famous app. You can just search out in the Google and Play Store. It is over there. Along with that, जिनकी introduction की हम लोग we are all attached with the Dinesh Islami sir, the student familiar sir is there, but still he is there with a new concept of design thinking and how we need to plan the thinking, how we need to think differently, and how it will be implemented. Both the things are going to be discussed in today's session, and by this way we are going to develop our activities under the IS, and that is the one and the motto of your impact lecture series. So don't worry, we will be there with you for the 2 sessions, and enjoy the session. And if you have any doubts, just connect with us. We are there. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Today for our session, we have an eminent speaker with us. It is Mr. Nikhil Kulkarni, sir. He has done his Bachelor of Science Computer Networking with minor in General Management from Purdue University. He has worked on various positions as the Vice President, Project Manager, Managing Director in various renowned organizations. Currently, he is the founder of the Rockwell Healthcare Private Limited, which aims to provide a patient-centric model of healthcare. I request our honorary in charge principal, Dr. Prakash Patil, sir, to go welcome and felicitate Mr. Nikhil Kulkarni, sir. I would also request our principal, Dr. Prakash Patil, sir, to felicitate Dinesh Islami, sir. Also today we are having with us, we are honored to have Dr. Pradeep Mani sir with us. I request our principal, Dr. Prakash Patil, sir, to welcome Pradeep Mani sir. I will request Dr. Prakash Patil sir to address the session. So please.
Very good afternoon to all of you. So first of all, I would like to welcome Nikhil sir to be here as one of the expert guests, and Islami sir for another session. There are 2 sessions today. There is one in on design thinking and one is on innovation and entrepreneurs. So both the sessions are to be conducted under this IIC Impact Series lectures funded by AICT and Government of India. So I congratulate to our government also for having such activities in the higher education institutes to promote the technical activities and to empower the thought process of the budding engineers amongst engineering colleges. So we do a big round of applause to our government of India as well as AICT for also, I would like to thank our honorable management, Sri A.V. Gupta sir, honorable chairman, then Dr. A.S. Botra sir, the trustee and founder, campus director, all the heads of departments, faculties, and the students who are participating in this event. Without your presence, this session is not credible. So I welcome to all the audience also on behalf of this Impact Series lectures. So I will not take much time because nowadays it is required to do some innovation, and there are 2 ways. One is job giving and job seekers. So nowadays we need to create job givers, not the job seekers. So that is the motto of our mind, and we think that there should be more entrepreneurs after completion of their graduation. They should have many startups during these 4 years of course, and they will be guided by under the guidance of our incubation head and startup head Dinesh Israni sir, and many of the students have doing the startup. Two of them got the funding also, one student got funding of 50 lakhs, one student got funding of 15 lakhs, and many such startups are in progress, and students are discussing, and there is a separate lab for this, separate infrastructure provided by the management with new PCs, new infrastructure, and you will get each and everything, but only thing you have to be there and you should do something and you should work hard and you should discuss with the collaboratively with many people, then you can have a successful startup in the to develop any product for the benefit of the society. So these are the some of the points I would like to highlight. Definitely, this today's impact lecture series on innovation and design thinking will help you to develop your career, being a successful entrepreneur. So I will say some of the I will quotes by Abdul Kalam and I will stop my speech. Abdul Kalam rightly said that learning gives creativity, creativity leads to thinking, thinking provides knowledge, and knowledge makes you great. Another quote by Abdul Kalam is that mistake increases your experience. Mistake increases your experience, and experience increases your mistakes. If you learn from your mistakes, then others learn from your success. There is another important quote of the Quran. If you follow these quotes in your day-to-day life, definitely you will be a successful person. Also, there is one of the quote by Steve Jobs. Design is not just what it looks like and feels like, but design is how it works. Reliably. That is said by Steve Jobs. So design thinking is the essential ability to combine empathy, creativity, and rationality to meet user needs and drive the business success. So with these words, I, I conclude my speech and all the best wishes to you to learn something new from today's session of Impact Service. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your kind guidance and motivation to our students. We are fortunate to have amongst us Dr. Pradeep Mani sir. He's an associate professor in Vasantata Patil College. So I'll request sir to share his things about innovation and design thinking about the topic and the students. Thank you, sir.
So we have got daily life events which can have we are facing a problem. So just identify that problems. So that will make the design thinking, and that design thinking you have to support it with the innovation. So now the government of India is motivating all of us for doing the startup. So for that startup purpose, we need the design thinking and the innovations. So you will get the lots of funds from the government of India. Israni sir will guide you about this. So the today's event, I think there will be a fabulous for you all. So just go through it properly, so you will get an idea. I think there are students from the B. So after the B, you can just convert your idea into the startup. So this session is more useful for you to do that job. Okay. So please make the proper design thinking and the innovation, and you will get the success about it. I hopefully you will get the help from the incubation center of the RMI, and Ishani sir is more capable for that. So best of luck for you all for the today's session. Okay.
Public motivation in providing to the students. So let us embrace the spirit of collaboration and exchange and open our minds to new ideas, perspectives, and possibilities. May I now request our honorable speaker, Mr. Nikhil Kulkarni sir, to please address the session.
Yeah, sure. Let's start now. Yes. Thank you. Please.
Everyone can for inviting me here today this afternoon. I would like to thank Principal Sir, Dr. Ashwini, and all the members of the dignitary to invite me here today to speak. And most of all, I'd like to thank all of you come here today. See, it's a topic of interest, correct? There were exams going on. There are a lot of things going on right now, and yet you have taken out the time to come and sit here. That clearly means that somewhere in there, maybe you want to directly admit it, or maybe there's a hidden thought in there, but somewhere in there, this topic is of interest to you. So I acknowledge that interest. Thank you so much for expressing it, being brave enough to come and commit to this class and being here today. Okay, so let's start. Better? Alright, good. So right here in flash, nothing to be scared about. Anytime you have any questions, just put your hands up and ask. Okay? Alright. Go to the first slide, please. Let me start by just telling you what today's topics are going to be. I'll first tell you about my company. I'm a startup founder. Our startup is called Docville, registered as Docville Healthcare Private Limited. So I'll share with you, what the company does, how it does it, the innovation there is. After that, go ahead. After that, I'll tell about the innovation process. I'll tell you, how we went about innovating. So we'll combine a little bit of theory because you have to know a little bit of concept, a little bit of theory on how the whole process works. And then I also share my experience and how we went about doing it. Elements of creativity. So creativity is not just sitting and coming up with ideas. There's a process to it. There are a few elements to it. There are certain skills to be had. Good at creativity. Skills to be had. We're in a skilling institute, right? So this is a good forum before you graduate. This is a good opportunity for you to figure out what skill gap you might want to cover by the time you enter the workforce. Strategic thinking, how to start a business, what business to start, what business not to start. Correct? That's also very important. Otherwise, parents will get upset. Education karaya, itna mehanga karaya, itna time pass karaya. Then what is the use, right? So, what businesses to start, what businesses to avoid, how to think about it. How to think about it. That is the main intention. Then designing, experimenting till you get it right. And finally, to operationalize it, to scale it up. Just briefly talk about funding and the opportunities that are today in the startup environment. In my opinion, this is
the best time to be attending a series like this. This is the best time to be an engineering student. I'm an engineering student myself. Okay, but I am telling you, right, standing right here, you are actually the most fortunate batch. So this is fantastic timing in terms of where our industry is, where our country is, where technology itself is. Okay. To like briefly touch upon my background because you have to know if I am saying something, what is my credibility? Why should you take my word for it? Right? So I'll just briefly tell you, I have a bachelor's of science in IT from Purdue University. It's in Indiana. So I was fortunate enough to go for a bachelor's degree there. Okay. Also have a minor in management. Then I was fortunate to get into Citigroup, which was at that time a Fortune 1 company in the world. And even more fortunate that they picked me out of 9 students in the whole country. Out of basically a batch of 9 students, we were a management associate program participants. Basically, what that is 2-year program where they put you in different departments of the company with the best managers in the company. So with the best managers in the company, in one of the topmost companies in the world, I was very fortunate to spend 2 years understanding how the business works and getting to do leadership project from day one. Okay. After that, so basically I was there in the US for 12 years. Since I've come back, I've done a lot of social work. There was a need in me to do something for us, for our people, to be productive and to contribute here. Because whatever I am today, it is because of what this country gave me, these people gave me, this land gave me. Okay. So I was also a founder of MMG. It's a lifestyle training company, non-profit in New York City, still operational. Me along with 2 other friends, we started it, and the whole idea of starting that was we wanted people to have a tool to conquer their fear. 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 Who's afraid of starting a startup? Be honest now. Who's afraid? Okay, only one person. We have like a really room full of brave people there. Okay, 2 people there. That's it. No other fear, and nobody else is scared of starting a startup. Okay, we are wondering why here. All right. Let's admit fear plays a pivotal part in our life. So we'll touch on fear also. In that, because literally we taught a program for Americans on how to conquer their fear. And the idea is if you can conquer your fear in one area of your life, I'll say it again. If you can conquer fear in any one area of your life, any one area of your life, you can conquer it in any other area of your life. Think about that for a second. Then my other one was Say Good Morning Club. So when I landed in India, started a social organization. This is a platform for people to come to projects, any kind of projects that they want, community projects. There were a lot of people who wanted to do, but didn't know who else to do it with. Nature's Club, which I actually met Dinesh sir. There we created a project to do a wet waste component, composting for our building. So we generate 100 kilos of wet waste in our building, security of that building. And then we created a plant to compost it on site every day. Many other things. Yotha is a residents association. I founded that. As I said, so I'm also my parents are doctors, and I was fortunate enough to come into management role directly to the hospital. So I have IT background, and I have healthcare background, healthcare management background, IT management background, and hence the natural next step for me was to start a health tech company. Right? So hence started Rockville. Then Rockville started right in the middle of COVID. So we'll do the next slide. Alright. So now let's talk about what Rockville is. I'll just briefly go over it. Because what my company does is not that relevant to the conversation we're having today. What is more relevant is how we go about it. How you can think about your own startup or joining a startup if that matters. Okay, so basically what we are a health tech startup, and what we do is we provide doctor home visit. Okay. Doctor home visit is not a very novel concept. What we brought into it is a level of technology. So, in doctors, there are categories, right? You have GP doctors, you have consultant doctors, physicians. Physicians don't do home visit, but their visit is actually most required because when you're really unwell, you need a physician, not a GP. GP can still do a little bit, but so what we did was we used IoT technology. This technology was not available in the country. The moment it became available, we were the first company, and we still are the only company in the country, I believe second in the world, to do something like this. Okay, so basically what we do is we use this technology to do home consultation. Okay, and we also do home treatment. So it's a novel concept, nobody else has done it, so the market also didn't exist for it. Okay, so just keep a track of the words I'm using, the market, the technology, all of this will come back to it. Okay. I guess we're running ahead on this slide. Yeah. Slow down, man. I'll tell you. All right. So the problem statement that we had was elderly citizens. They are the ones who didn't have access to physician care. And I'll briefly just tell you the problem statement because what happens is when you create a pitch deck, when you think about entrepreneurship, you think about the problem statement, think about how specific can you get in your problem. How specific can you get? Very targeted you have to be. So after months and years of work, this is the crispest version of our problem statement that we can come up with. So I'll just read it. Shortage of home-based medical consultation for acutely ill patients. So what we're doing for whom we're doing? Suboptimal care results in worsening of symptoms. So why it is important? And lack of options leads to longer recovery period. So why it is urgent? Good. So the problem statement has to address all of these three things. And we'll discuss all of this in much more detail. But this is Local's problem statement. Let's go to the next slide. And as I said, the solution that we came up with. So we came up with a kit like this. So this is actually the first version of a kit. We are on the fourth version of a kit. The fourth version is much smaller. It's like cabin size suitcase. Basically, we take a small suitcase and we have a tripod. So like a tripod like this tripod, we put a tablet on top. So now that we have a tablet, basically tablet's a computer, right? So now we can connect IoT devices to the tablet. So one IoT device that we principally use is a digital stethoscope. So using a digital stethoscope, what happens is consultant can hear the heart and lung sound live while they are talking to the patient. Think about it, right? Video consultation सबने किया है, yeah. So video consultation में the doctor can only see your face and will only know whatever you are telling him about. But it's limited information because you are a non-medical. So how will you give medical information? Correct. This IoT device. So now that we're setting an assistant doctor's team and connecting with a senior doctor, the IoT device is giving the information as if the patient was in front of the consultant. Okay, I understand. Going from an engineering background, suddenly talking about medical and healthcare might be a little challenging. Okay, but put yourself in a clinic. Put yourself in a patient situation. Now, from a startup point of view, not every problem is going to be a very attractive looking problem initially. Not everyone is going to make the next Amazon. But there's no need for it also. So every problem is a good problem. We can find a very crisp version of it, and we can find a solution where people actually want it. Right? So as I said, so if you look at the tablet, on the tablet, our doctor can hear all the parameters. We have digital ECG also. So we are able to now save lives. Literally, like we got a call the other day. Somebody said, look, by मेरी मम्मी का थोड़ा weakness लग रहा है, अगर के देखोगे क्या ऑफिस में? Wait, weakness. Nothing more than weakness. So we sent our team. It turns out the patient's saturation was dropping. Saturation means oxygen level in the blood. Why was it dropping? Then we did ECG. Turns out the patient was having a cardiac arrest. We not gone there. This solution not existed. If we not alerted the patient that look, this is very, very serious. This is not a simple weakness. Okay, BP check karo. Patient is going to crash. We not been there, the patient would not have been with us. So your work, your startups are going to have a real impact in the lives of people. Whether it is entertainment, whether it is an app, or whether it is healthcare, or whether it is technology, whether it's a product, it doesn't matter. It has to have some meaning to somebody. And most of all, it has to have meaning to you. Right? We'll go to the next slide, please. So I think I covered this. Now, using these IoT technologies, okay, what is the advantage? One advantage I told you is, okay, now the consultant can hear the parameters live and all of that. But there is from the user perspective. Let's change track a little bit and see from an engineering perspective. From an engineering perspective, what we have done is you have taken the data which was manual and you have computerized it, you have digitized it. Okay. So now you have digital stethoscope data. We also have a digital ECG. So in digital stethoscope, you can do modulation also, frequency modulation. So let's say somebody has a heart condition, maybe a regular stethoscope may not pick it up. But if we suspect something, we can do frequency modulation and see, अरे इसमें तो थोड़ा सा गड़बड़ लग रहा है. Maybe a cardiologist checkup is required. So that kind of stuff you can start doing now with technology. Even with digital ECG, earlier, ऐसा होता था digital ECG is, that long paper slip that you get. So that is what that ECG looks like, correct? Now, because of digital ECG, you can do continuous streaming. So now our consultant can see the ECG continuously for, let's say, 1 minute. I want to, let's say, observe how this patient is doing over a minute. Now they can see that. And not only that, पहले कैसा होता था, okay, now you technician has taken the ECG, उसका photo लो. फिर consultant को भेजो, consultant zoom करेगा, चश्मा लगाएगा. Lot of information is missing, right? Now because it's digital and because it's in an app, now a consultant can do the analysis of that ECG directly on the app. Immediately patient is getting report, and immediately because now we know, okay, what, ये patient को ECG बराबर नहीं आ रहा है, cardiac arrest हो रहा है, these are the medicines we want to give before we put it in an ambulance. Right? So this was not possible if IoT devices were not used. सादा डॉक्टर भी जाता था, एफटी डॉक्टर भी जाता था, तो भी it would have taken a little bit longer, it would have may not be as streamlined, है ना? So as engineers we have to now see, okay, we have access to clinical data. Clinical data सारा आ गया patient का, we know what their age is, we know what their heart rate is, GP is and everything. Plus we have access to digital data, IoT data. Okay. IoT data plus clinical data combination can very easily lead to AI applications. AI applications. Okay. What does AI application mean? AI application means you might not need a doctor in every village. Okay. So we'll cover all of this. An integrated platform. So essentially, only IoT data alone is not of any use unless it is integrated and it is talking to each other. We know stethoscope is talking to ECG, ECG is talking to some other device, and they're all talking and understanding what is going on with the patient. Then the consultant, the doctors have a much clearer picture. So they know exactly what is going on and how to, take fast action. So what you have done is you have given your user, our users are doctors, their customers are the patients. So I'm using the word user, customer. We'll come back to all of these terms. Next, please. Any question? Yeah, go ahead. So the question is, the data that we are collecting, are we storing it somewhere? And it essentially is that data, can the data be turned into information? That's the question. So the short answer is we are in the process of doing. So the whole intention of a startup is to start up. It's not a completed up. So we are very much in the process of doing this. And the interesting thing is, nobody in the world right now is doing this. Nobody in the entire world is capturing this kind of data with the intention of doing some AI application with it. Nobody in the world is doing it. Okay. But in order to do that, we encountered a lot of resistance. Resistance mainly from the medical community. So as technology, as engineers, you have to think not only from the tech point of view. The moment you know engineers, I'm an engineer. So when somebody tells me about it, immediately I start thinking, acha, ye app lagega, this is the software they're going to need, these are the applications, this is how they should, these fonts they will need. Correct? User is not thinking that. Your mind is away from the user. You have to first cater to your user. What does the user actually want? Are they even asking for your solution? What we found, what I found, doctors were not asking for the solution. Doctor said, go away. Nahi chahiye aapka. So initially, what happened is we created a platform. We said, look, we will do this. This is amazing. We will do amazing things with this. As an engineer, right? Engineer, I'm thinking, right? I went to all the doctors and they said, look, this is now available. It's COVID time. Why don't you send us to your patients? And we will do this. We will do the service. You do the consultation. Just start. Like we thought, okay, ये तो हो गया. This is like, abhi the whole world is going to know about doctor. Guess what happened? Doctors are not interested. So don't assume that your user actually wants this technology, even if it is good for them. So you have to not only think from an engineering point of view, you have to think, okay, what does the market actually want? What does the user actually want? Turns out there are doctors didn't really trust the technology, were not very eager to learn the technology, and didn't trust us. Didn't trust us with their patients. So what we did, we had to redesign actually our entire business model. Okay. So I'll cover that also. But from a process perspective, what we did was we brought everyone in-house. We hired the consultants only today. We said, okay, outside consultants are not taking our technology. We believe in it. We will hire the doctors and prove to them that ये चलता है. So we're forcing the hand. Correct. Well, sometimes you have to do that. So what we did was we hired us create use cases. Use cases everyone's familiar with. Okay. So if you have any device, sorry, test case. Test case, but test case के पहले use case आता है ना. You take a use case, you develop it. Once you developed it, then you want to test it. So use case first, then when you're doing QA, then that is test. And that's not just in software. This is applicable in anything. I understand there are some civil engineering graduates here or participant students. This applies to you also. If you're building a building, first is a use case. What is the requirement? I'll give you an example. So we were renovating our hospital, and we have a trolley. Governance model. Okay, you might say that it was a clear engineering problem, no? So all we did was put IoT instruments in front of the user. Okay, problem solved. But turns out, not only did the user was not comfortable using the technology and we had to bring the users also in-house, we also figured out that once we got the user in-house, they weren't comfortable working with each other through this technology. So it needed another innovation called governance model. Okay, why am I sharing all this with you? Technology innovation, I could have stopped there, right? It's an engineering class, batch, that's the relevant slide. First thing you want to do is, अरे यार तो software है, तो hardware है, तो IoT है, तो ये है, तुम लोग सब लोग आ जाओ, let's go develop an app, right? So tempting, right? Would have been a disaster, waste of time, waste of money, waste of resources, and market में नाम खराब, market में नाम खराब. Which market? The medical community. For us, our user is the doctors, no? So reputation. Huh? So for manage that reputation, we are developing a governance model. Governance model. So it's a very roundabout way of doing things. But sometimes the solution requires you to look at all the aspects. Basically, what you have to look at is what is it going to take for this concept to be successful. If nobody is using your technology, if nobody is using your app, if nobody is using your product or your service, क्या फायदा हुआ? Time wasted, no? Frustration, time wasted, all of those things. So you have to take all of these things in mind. Okay. Now in our governance model, what we have done is we have put doctors in charge. We said, okay, management आपके technology नहीं थोपेगा. We will urge you, we will request you to start using this. Can we use this new technology? So now I'll give you an example. I mentioned we are starting ICU at home. So on top of these IoT devices, another tech stack fits to make a home ICU. Another tech stack fits on it. That's another level of headache. Now not only are we managing regular cases at home, now we are asking our doctors to do ICU cases at home based on this technology. So for them, we are like, what is this? Let us just directly go to the patient, calm khatam. Right? But there is a need in the market, no? The market is saying we need these homes. So we have to get into them. To get whatever the market needs, we have to develop a governance model. In there, it's a very old model. In India, में कोई कर
It's the first time India में हम आगे बढ़ रहे हैं.
तो really comment first time हम आगे बढ़ रहे हैं इस technology. Now I'm here to tell you. I started this lecture by saying that you are very well placed to be leaders in the startup world. This is a fantastic time to start, but this is a directly example. No, nobody else in the world was doing it. Nobody was doing it. So थोड़ा सा daring लगता है. Anything else? A little bit of luck. We talk about all of these things. Very good point. Anything else? Anybody else? क्या आ रहा है thoughts? What thoughts are coming so far? हाँ. बाद में वो तो बोलो.
जो टेक्नीशियन है वो अगर मेरे घर पे जा रहा है उसमें प्रॉब्लम तो फाइंड आउट करनी है उसको पर वो सॉल्यूशन भी देता है मतलब मेडिसिन वगैरह वो भी प्रोवाइड करता है कि सब वो प्रॉब्लम आइडेंटिफाई करके पास करता
Question is, I guess you guys are right? Question is, once we identify the problem, are we really giving any revenue? So actually, we do treatment also, and how we do it is we send a nurse also. So nurse goes with our entire consumable bag. So basically a small bag that she carries, all our nurses carry. And they have their IV tray, 40-50 injections they carry, X-ray also happens at home, ECG also happens at home. So entire treatment also is basically happening at home. Patient is getting immediately and also long term. Like what else? Yes.
And so when we were talking about the funding that you raised,
We'll get to funding also, yes. That's the last part we'll talk about. Because I'll share something with you. We have access to funding, but we have not availed of it. So you have to be smart. Same is what you're saying, same here. You have to be smart because money is available. So today money is not the problem. Money is not the problem with startups. You know what the investor will tell you? Please, can we get good startups so that we can fund them? Growers, when Growers came out, it was quite funny. SoftBank funded them, SoftBank funded them 1,000 crores straight away. And they were nobodies. They didn't have any history. They had not developed anything. People asked them, look, इतना डरेंगे कैसे आया सीधा 1,000 crores मांग लिया. People asked 1 crore, 2 crore, 5 crores. वो तो क्या, it's a big deal. But how come you asked for 1,000 crores? And he said, he realized in the market nobody was asking at that level. So they went and asked. And what? Literally. So in the end, basically, lesson क्या है? You have to exist. You have to take a step. To be a little daring, a little bold, but yet not rush into things. So we have not gone for funding because our product in the end is not fully pakka yet, not fully mature yet for us to scale. So the moment we get funding, there is pressure to start scaling. There's pressure that you should see TV ads. There's pressure that you should see 50% increase month on month. And in healthcare that can be dangerous. So we avoid it. Thank you for the question. Okay, we'll move on to the next slide. All right, innovator business model. I briefly touched on it when we started. Doctors, consultants who were not on our payroll, who were already established doctors, were not interested. So we had to bring everything in-house. We said now that we're bringing in-house, different level of challenges are there, but opportunities also different here. So now what we realized is by creating doctor at home service, and because we have doctors in-house also, we're creating doctor at home service, we're creating trust in the market. So let's say we launch so we are based in Andheri and Mumbai and Thane right now. Okay. So let's say we launch in Andheri, right? Andheri now, instead of dropping, so there's a old startup called HealthSpring. Okay, you might have heard about it, I don't know. They picked up 300 crores of funding. Okay. And they had a brilliant idea. Market the branded clinics need. This might be branded clinics. So they went in, straight away put in 300 crores and did it. Totally to find out, people don't care about branded clinics. People care about the doctors and the relationship they have with them. Right? So it's a 300 crore mistake. Can you imagine? So what we decided was, we don't want to repeat the same mistake. No, the end innovation is about being smart. So we said what we are going to do is we are going to create doctor at home service first. We will go and build these relationships in the patient's houses first. to build up credibility in the market. Once we are credible, we'll start much more efficient, no? Because already relationship बना हुआ है, trust है. Okay, you know what, I know somebody who is already availing of this service. You know, तो वो ICP है, they must be having good doctors, they must be doing good. Okay, I can trust them with my clinic. So much more efficient use of capital. End में everything, so we talk about funding, right? End में it all boils down to how efficiently can you use the money. Productivity gain. See. We talk about growth in the country, right? GDP is growing by so much. But what does that mean? It means that our productivity is going up. Something that we used to do with X amount of labor or X amount of capital, we can do now with X minus. That is what productivity gain is, right? So now, essentially, what investors are looking for is good productivity. Can you give me productivity gains? Can you do something that nobody is done? Can you do it cheaper, faster, better? That's what it comes down to, right? Next slide, please. We'll shift gears a little bit. We'll go a little bit into what is how to figure out what problems to solve. Anybody has any ideas of what to start, what kind of an idea that they would like to get into? Any startup ideas, anybody? Okay, while you're thinking, let me disassociate a myth. It's a myth to think that your idea is very precious. No, idea is not precious. Okay, it is not precious at all. What we started doing versus what we ended up doing is not quite the same. So, if somebody, if you think that, oh, मेरा idea कोई चुरा लेगा, at the end of this presentation, hopefully you realize idea चुराने से कुछ नहीं होता है. There's a lot of things that are in between. Lot of things. And in fact, it could be that the idea is also not a good idea. It has to be refined. Okay. So first step is explore. Seek the problems you want to solve. Okay. Then we'll talk about trying it, experimenting it. Then we'll talk about how to scale it and operationalize it. Okay. So enough of theory for the moment. Let's go to the next slide. That's it. My favorite word, fear. Let me ask again. अभी बार सब में बोलिए. Who's here? Starting the startup. आज अगर बोला, बेटा आप काम क्या? गीता गुप्ता जी आपको बोला here is 1 crore rupees. Go to a startup. How will you be? एक दिन अच्छा फील होगा. Second day, इन्वेस्टर बोलेगा मेरा रिटर्न कितना है? क्या किया आपने? प्लानिंग रहेगा कि नेक्स्ट डे मैं इतना रिटर्न मिले. What if I tell you कि आपको 1 crore फंडिंग तो अवेलेबल है, भी है, तो स्टूडेंट्स आर अवेलेबल टू गेट दैट फंडिंग, तो क्यों नहीं किया? क्यों नहीं किया?
Lack of knowledge.
Okay, lack of knowledge. What else? Afraid of failure. What type of failure?
Product not great. Product not great.
Sorry, I will come to you. What do you say?
If I design a product and it is not getting sold in the market,
Then that's a failure. If you design a product and it is not getting sold in the market, that's a failure. How about you, sir? Same thing. So what if it doesn't get sold? So what? Okay, you need to create a revenue. So but are you telling me that because कोई भी आप प्रोडक्ट बनाओगे वो बिकेगा नहीं, इसलिए आप स्टार्टिंग नहीं रखो? But the original question is today you have access to funding even today. तो क्यों नहीं किया सर? सोचा नहीं, अच्छा सोचा सर. ओके, क्या सोचा? जॉब का सोचा. उसके बारे में आई. हाँ, uncertainty है. हाँ, and uncertainty which is important leads to stress. Whenever you feeling stressed about something, whenever you feeling like oh you know exam दिया है, I don't know result कैसा आएगा, अजी दिया ना result कैसा आएगा, stress. Uncertainty leads to stress. Nobody likes stress. I don't know, I get into it. This is your path. Right? How about what's preventing you from starting your startup today? Okay, failure तो cover हो गया. हाँ, और sorry, past history as in
Someone getting success alone, they have to do things. But someone is not getting success, so he is afraid of doing anything.
safer to go get a job, no? फिर दोस्तों बोलेंगे अरे क्या कर रहा है, अरे सर्कल कर रहा हूँ स्टार्टअप है, वैसे सो है मैंने तो what this about that. So there is also that societal aspect. Remember? First thing that we need to tackle innovation and entrepreneur series is the willingness to innovate. आज I am standing today telling you on camera आपको resources का कोई problem नहीं है, आपको टेक्नोलॉजी का कोई problem नहीं है. The only thing stopping is how big you are willing to think. The only thing stopping you is how big you are willing to think. So, the first aspects of willingness to wait, you have to tackle your fear. Okay? And tackling your fear is something that you can act systematically. I would say it takes about 3 months to tackle your fear. There's a process to it. Okay? Basically, what you do is you identify one area where you are afraid. Any one area, it doesn't have to be startup. Let's say you're afraid of motorcycles, or let's say you're afraid of what's something you're afraid of? Afraid of speaking up? How many of you are afraid of speaking up? Come on, just how many of you are afraid of speaking up? Okay, who else? Come on, 2? Or you just you? Yeah, afraid of speaking. Thank you for acknowledging that. Who else? First step of fear is acknowledging that you have that fear. Right? public speaking, non fear. The only way to tackle fear, sir, is to go out and do it. जब कारगिल वॉर हुआ था, watching a video of a colonel saying बड़ा बड़ा बुलेट्स आ रहा था, and the interviewer asked him, what are you afraid? He said, for a soldier, fear is always there, which was surprising for me to hear. I thought soldier will talk about bravery, right? But the definition of bravery, it turns out, is your acknowledging that you have that fear and acting despite of that fear. That is the definition of bravery. Okay, so if you want to have any assignment out of today's session, it is number one, figure out one area of your life, any one area of your life where you are afraid, and go about tackling it. Give yourself 3 months of time. Give yourself 3 months of time and figure out how you can tackle it. An easy one is public speaking. If you're already a public speaker, then don't take that. But if you're not a public speaker and you're afraid, it's a very easy one. Because then you have lots of opportunities within college only to start doing that. And you know what will happen? Once you realize, hey, one area where I'm good here, I thought I was afraid, but I'm not able to do it. Startup इतना कर नहीं, let's try करते हैं. इनमें क्या लगता है, डेरिंग लगता है ना थोड़ा सा डेरिंग लगता है, little bit of smart strategy. Okay. So number one, tackle your fear. Number two, prepare for failure. You have to hear or know a lot. Okay? Like do an exercise one time, whenever you have time. Turn to each other. How are we doing on time? How are we doing on time? Can I do an exercise? How much time do we have? So how much time do we have? Book लग रहा है, जल्दी फिनिश करो. Okay. Okay. So homework assignment. We don't know how much time we have. Half an hour, 45 minutes.
This session was starting at 11. We have to time. So how much time you have?
How much time do we have left, ma'am? More. Yeah. So how much time do we have left? 20 minutes only we have. Oh, okay. We'll skip it. एक homework assignment करना. Whenever you get it, turn to one person. Ask for something. Let's say ask for the pen. Okay. एक example लिखा.
Can I get your pen?
Put your name.
Can I get a pen for me?
No. Okay. Keep asking.
You please share me the pen.
No.
I really need it. Can you please give it to me?
Yes. You do this. How does it feel? He's hearing you.
So sometimes it doesn't feel like asking it.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you for participating. See, after some time, what he said, after some time, it doesn't feel like participating. Why? Because you don't want to hear no. You don't want to hear no. डॉक्टर साहब, ये बहुत अच्छा ऐप है, बहुत अच्छा सॉफ्टवेयर है, आप जरा यूज करिए. नो. डॉक्टर साहब, बहुत अच्छा ऐप है, बहुत अच्छा सर्विस है, आप जरा यूज करिए. नो. डॉक्टर साहब, नो. डॉक्टर साहब, नो. डॉक्टर साहब, नो. 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 Okay, get comfortable with the no. No is your friend. No will tell you what is not working. Don't be afraid. Again, it comes back to fear, but it's not really fear. This is now toughening your mind. Okay, so the second point essentially is mind toughening. Toughen up your mind. Okay, you know what? Easy नहीं होएगा, बहुत सारा no मिलेगा, बहुत सारा problems आएगा, and फिर भी करना है. Okay, and I would suggest do a very honest introspection with yourself. Do you have that in you? And if you find that then कोई problem नहीं है. जैसा भी want to become an actor, फिर तो नहीं पहले जिम जाना पड़ेगा। Thank you for participating. Third is you have college, ठीक है? The Indian startup ecosystem is extremely helpful, extremely helpful. मतलब amazingly helpful. Like they will go out of way, they will call you. Then you ask for that, but I told you this किया क्या? Is it that helpful? They're eager. Everyone is eager for you to succeed. Really eager, yeah. See, the thing is, these people, these mentors who you're going to ask, right? They've established something for themselves in their life. So it's not like they want something from you. What they get out of it is they have helped the next generation become successful. And if you're a country becomes wealthy, by having good innovation. It is your moral obligation to go. Negative 10 degrees centigrade outside. My jacket was in the bus. Money, wallet was with me, but wallet में खाली $20 था. मैं बाथरूम गया, बाहर आया, बस गया. मेरी जैकेट भी गया अंदर. Okay, so negative 10 degrees outside, no jacket, only $20 in my pocket. It's not much. It's like 20 essentially. And it was just after 9/11, so nobody was willing to give me a ride. I asked for 3 hours. Everyone who came in that rest stop, सबको पूछा, please जरा lift दो. Nobody gave me a ride. Finally, एक McDonald's की मैनेजर ने तरस आया, उसने को अपने पैसे से फ्राइज और पेप्सी पिलाया, कोक पिलाया. आइडिया दिया कि बस वाले को कॉल करो, सामान तो उतारो. Then somebody came luckily and gave me a ride. So at the age of 18, I was 18 years old at that time. At the age of 18, बहुत बड़ा सदमा पड़ा. So no, world is not safe. Just because I'm showing my student ID, people are not trusting me. It's a setback. But setbacks make you strong. तो जाके थोड़ा setback करो. If you have an honest introspection and you find that you're not fully mentally strong, जैसा bodybuilder का body strong होता है, वैसा आपका mind strong होना चाहिए. If you find that you're not there yet, go and experience failure. No? Basically, what do we do in the gym? When we go to the gym, we put our body through failure. We put our body through failure. Every time when our body is no longer able to lift a single muscle, this is the point of failure, and it recovers, and then we become stronger. Same way your mind will function. Okay. Any questions here? Yes. My friend, if you're comfortable with those, you have a mind of Arnold. With that strong. It is very difficult to get comfortable with those, believe me. Very difficult. Like 5 minutes exercise up देखो. So, but your question is, what your question is, don't get comfortable, right? Like how to keep, keep looking out for what is actually working. उस पे आते हैं. Next slide, please. Thank you. Next slide. Create smart solutions. Okay. So first thing is you want to understand the market. How you understand the market? Go and ask people, no, क्या चाहिए? And I done that. I first literally had a 15-minute conversation with the consultant कि ये मेरा concept है, ये मैंने develop किया, आपके पास आया तो आप लोगे क्या? वो 2 मिनट में बोल देता था ले लेगा. But I didn't do that. I didn't do that. My engineer brain said, oh, brilliant idea. करके देखते हैं. Right? Failure. So understand the market. Go and test. Go and test. So how will you know कि आपका no बराबर है कि आपका product ही गलत है? It's a fine balance. That's what innovation is all about. Today it could very well be that vocal is a false concept. I wasted my time. But what you gain out of it, even if you fail, is you gain that market में people know कि वो एक startup तो try करके देखता है. You know the story about Henry Ford. Anybody knows Henry Ford का story? No. Henry Ford first, like he started his car company in 1920. Okay, but उस वक्त there were no major car companies, so he went to investors. उस वक्त का money basically he could ask for $1 billion आज का money. The equivalent. He went to the investor. He said, look, I'm a car mechanic. I can make these cars. I have this idea of like assembly line and everything. पैसा दो. उसको मिल गया. Fail हो गया. So people said, अरे ये क्या डपर आइडिया था? $1 billion is wasted. What an idiot. Okay. इसको तो अभी वापस तो पैसा कभी नहीं मिलेगा. फिर भी he went pestered investors. वापस एक और बार पैसा मिला. Guess what happened? Failed. Third time also he went. People are started laughing at him. ये क्या यार टाइम पास कर रहा है? भाई तू जा यहाँ से. मास प्रोड्यूस नहीं होने वाला है कार्स. ऐसा मैकेनिक गैराज में ही प्रोड्यूस करेगा कार्स. But he persevered. Today you have the Ford Motor Company, first company to mass produce cars. So you have to know when to take a no and when not to take a no. You have to believe कि नहीं यार मैंने एक्सपेरिमेंट किया है, मैंने बात किया लोगों से, ये मेरा कॉन्सेप्ट चलेगा. Dream 11. How many times I have to hear no? बराबर? I mean, there are like thousands of stories like this. So do feasibility study. Do an honest feasibility study. Whether is this going to really work or not. And then finally then invest your time and money. And initially it might be other people's money. Your time. Does that answer your question, sir? Next slide, please. Any questions here? Okay. So just a little brief into theory again. 3 types of creativity are there. It's not 3 types of creativity. It is 3 elements of creativity. You need all 3 elements. So if you've gone and worked in an internship in a big company, or when you go and join a big company, you realize that they have a lot of process. Everything is process driven. ये form भरो, इसका signature चाहिए. Just the way government works. Government works on a lot of process. Correct? So what they have done, what is the process? Basically, if you say it in Hindi, what a process is जितना बोला गया है उतने करो. That is what a process is. Right? You heard this phrase, जितना बोला गया उतना करो, ज़्यादा दिमाग में चलाओ. That is what a process is. But a company works on process, correct? But yet, if a company is going to be brain dead and only work on a processes that were once defined and not changing, that company becomes old obsolete company. You see companies dying also, no? Companies die because of this reason. Correct? So creativity is important, innovation is important. There are 3 aspects to it. There are 3 ways that you have to do it, and the skill sets that you have to build upon. First is creative abrasion. Creative abrasion means there has to be strong debate. Strong debate. You have to argue, literally. You have to argue, like, let's say इसको पेन नया पेन बनाने का है. There might be 1,000 ways of doing it, no? But let's say आमा दादा मेरा नहीं सुनागा तो मरेगा. तो सुन लेगा ना? But that is not creative abrasion. That will result in a poor idea. So good creativity requires creative abrasion. Good, it is strong debate. If you say, hey, you know what? I know that the three of you think this is the way to do it. I know that all three of you investors think, mass producing cars is not possible. I'm here to tell you it is possible. Let me convince you why. It is creative abrasion. Ability to debate, but without getting personal. And you need a diverse group. So if you're thinking about starting a startup, it can't be just चलो हम लोग सब लोग friends हैं, we like each other's coding, तुम लोग का coding अच्छा है, मेरा coding अच्छा है, सब चार लोग मिलके कंपनी बनाते हैं. You come to an investor, investors से सारे सब engineers ही है, marketing किधर है, finance किधर है, operations किधर है, HR किधर है, technology किधर है. You know what I mean? So you want to have a diverse group. Only when you have a diverse group, will all kinds of ideas come and be hotly debated and good ideas get emerged. So remember, you have to invest your time wisely. No? Second, agility. You have to analyze every single possible solution. I said 10,000 ways of making a pen, you have to analyze 10,000 ways. That agility has to be there and it requires good leadership. So level 5 leadership is basically a concept. I would recommend to go read a book called Creative Genius. A collective genius, sorry. So basically, it requires good leadership, it requires agility to be able to create and innovate. And third is resolution. So sometimes what happens, एक आइडिया बहुत अच्छा दिख रहा है, but ये आइडिया भी अच्छा है. The best ideas actually you will find are actually merger of the ideas. So the concept of synergy is 1 plus 1 equals more than 2. Correct? Engineers, come on. 1 plus 1 equals more than 2. What is that more than 2? That is creative resolution. That is when you realize that, you know what? You have an idea. I have an idea. It's similar, but let's try to find even better. Merge it and even make it even better. Pixar works like this. Pixar is known for best quality animation films. And it's not easy. It's easy for a 10 people group or 5 people group to innovate. 100 people company, 500 people company, innovation becomes very difficult. So it's a big deal for the company to be able to do. Okay, next slide, please. So this we talked about iterative development, just like in you have iterative development in IT, tech. Same way, businesses also need iterative development. So we are on a fourth version of a kit. We have evolved our business model several times. We've seen, gone up there and seen what works. But most important, go out there and develop and try something. Develop a prototype. In fact, you might not even need a prototype. You might just actually have a PDF for what the end solution will look like and try and sell it. देखो ना बिकता है कि नहीं based on a PowerPoint अगर बिकता है तो maybe there's a market for it. Then you go and develop it. So many startups work like this. So you might think that I will need 1 crore funding and I will need this incubation and I will need so many people. No. जो concept है वो जाके बेच को तो दिखाओ. They might say okay product लेके आओ. Then you can go and say let's go. So seek industry, client inputs, invest time and money smartly. Again, same thing happened. Next slide, please. Alright, product market fit. We talked about this. Basically, it's again trying and going and seeing what is actually working. What is actually working. So, product market fit is basically, does your product actually fit what the market needs? I'm an engineer, मेरे को app बनाने का है. But market doesn't want an app. Actually, what we realize is market likes to call. People like to call us and talk to us about what the problems they're having. And that is working brilliantly. So we waited on building an app. Okay. Product market fit. Okay. Finally, prepare to fail. Again, यहाँ पे भी वही आता है. Even at the end, now you talk to client, you figure out, you iterated, you've done everything, market is ready, everything is ready, will be big ready. Final point, don't give up. Keep trying. Be Henry Ford. Next slide. Right. Before we talk about any of this, a quick question. Any concern? कुछ आ रहा है? which is a police. Anybody? So you have access to incubators, you have availability of funding. We have an incubation center in our college only coming up. There are lots of startups, not only in India, all over the world. So if you want to get an idea of what kind of startups out there, देखो ना बाकी लोग क्या कर रहे हैं. देखो बाकी लोग क्या कर रहे हैं. Read industry papers, see whether need is there. Talk to industry people, see whatever your area is, civil, electronics, tech, whatever it is, go and talk to industry people and see उन लोगों को pain point क्या है. What can I provide as an engineering student to you? Maybe talk to some business people. Maybe go and talk to some MBAs. Figure out क्या हो रहा है. Or go and sit in some incubation center and hear the presentations that the startups are giving you. When you go and involve in a culture of other believers, other people who believe कि हो सकता है, failure option नहीं है, लोग failure नहीं लेंगे, only then will you also start to believe. It's an infectious thing. Infection कभी disease नहीं होता. What's the infectious thing? So, on that topic, if you have any friends immediately who are pulling you down, who will tell you ये नहीं हो सकता, तुम्हारे से नहीं हो सकता, तुमको देखा है क्या आईने में, any of these thoughts, my advice to you will be in this space not to interact with them. I'm not saying don't be friends, but the type of friends that you create, the type of thoughts that you circulate around you will have an impact on the kind of startups that you will create and you will create. Okay. Because you have access to literally worldwide resources. Tomorrow, if you need some technology that you don't have access to here, US में तो इतने सारे लोग हैं, इतने प्रोफेसर्स हैं, यूरोप में हैं, email them, they will help you. Google Meet पे चलो, they come. It's like that broker story. 1,000 crores कैसा मिला तो पूछ लिया. Same way, they are also sitting. अरे कोई पूछेगा तो दे देंगे ना. They are sitting there waiting. How? Please let me help you. Okay, I was there in the US for 12 years, so I can tell you, they are waiting for you. You have access to those resources. The only thing stopping you in your life right now is you. Okay, next. Final quote. Shoot for the stars. There are various versions for this, but I like this one. Shoot for the stars, and you might just get to the moon. So, folks, that's it for me. Thank you. How about if there's any questions, I'll be happy to take.
We need to look for the other possibilities.
Okay, so we have time.
Yeah.
So the question is, if we are going to explore all the possibilities, will we not face time imbalance? Will we not be wasting too much time ideating? And that's a very good point. Analysis paralysis पर नहीं जाना है. It's a balance. Everything in life is a balance. Analysis paralysis भी एक चीज होता है. हाँ, मैं सोच रहा हूँ यार, बहुत अच्छा स्पीच था. क्या करते हैं? अरे हाँ सोचते हैं यार. सोचना नहीं है. ठीक है, सोचो. जब भी सोचने का टाइम है तभी दिल से सोचो. But then have a time limit. नहीं, इतना टाइम में सोचो. डिसिप्लिन लगता है. And try and find teammates. अगर आप में डिसिप्लिन नहीं है ना, try and find complementary skill sets. You know what, you are headstrong, I am disciplined, team together. You are technically strong, you are marketing strong, let's team together. Complementary skill set ढूंढो ना. तभी fantastic solutions आएंगे. ऐसा डॉक्टर नो नहीं बोलेगा. What else? Question? Thoughts? Yes.
I have a question. Like, every engineer thinks about मेरा degree हो गया, I will go for the job opportunities. But do you think that if he got the good job and the moment he got an idea, let's start my study. But he's like कि वो चलेगा नहीं चलेगा नहीं uncertainty. So any guidance about like taking the calculated risk, how to go, like, how to take.
इनमें तो डुबकी मारना पड़ेगा मैडम. I also did no. मैं तो यूएस छोड़ के आया. तो मेरा जॉब नो मैं तो यूएस वाला जॉब छोड़ के आया 6 figures. Chance पे chance. This is the life. You know, sometimes you make it, sometimes you say थोड़ा गाली पड़ेगा. ये क्या कर रहा है? वो छोड़ के आता है. होता है. But then that's where toughness comes, no? In the end, if you believe that there is a market for it and you believe that this job is not for you and you want to do this and you want to see, you have to have the why. The why should be very strong. What's the why? Why you want to do this? See, if you looked at my background before doing this particular startup, I had like several social initiatives, no? So my why of doing this is मेरे को impact करने का है like लोगों को. So when my team, you won't believe it. The reason I'm standing here is because my team is sitting over there and they're fully zoned in on why we are doing this. We are saving lives. We are doing a good thing. We are doing service to humanity. ये बढ़ना चाहिए. They believe in it because I believe in it. So whoever that is who's going for a job and is thinking, first is you have to answer the question why. Business idea आया है इसके लिए नहीं. Value आपका क्या है? This is fit with your value. That's the answer. Cool. What else? Any other questions?
Yes. Goes down.
Yeah, I would say hire good MBAs. Seriously. Look, it's a risk, no? It's a risk. When you scale up, quality could go down, but if you believe in your why, if your company believes in your why, the person who's making the product or making the service also believes in the why. You won't believe it. My doctors are so hardworking. It's I will embarrassed with. They work very hard because they believe in the why. So quality going down, if you it's a spiritual question. If you really think about it, it comes down to your why. When you started this company, did the founders really believe in it? Do the people who manage it still believe in it? Say एक example देता हूँ. अभी short of time or we keep on going. So in the Say Good Morning Club, he had so this was an interesting thing. एक बार basically what I did was I stood on the Lokhandwala back road with a board that said good morning. And लोग आके पूछने लगे क्या है? ऐसा करके चलो we became a 1,000 people organization. Okay. And एक problem आया सामने, people were taking their dogs out for a walk and they were doing 40 over there. Okay. And other people were saying, "Arey yaar, what is this? Please do something about it." So what we did, and I'm answering a question. Okay. What we did was we went and told those people, "Look, you are free to not pick up if you like, or if you like to pick up, here's a piece of newspaper." And we went and distributed a piece of newspaper to all the dog walkers, and we gave it to all the other walkers without a dog also. ऐसे आपको कोई दिखता है अगर नीचे रखा हुआ है तो आप आपको लगता है उठाने का तो आप उठाओ. Okay. The impact of it was that, and we ran this campaign for a month and a half. The impact was that people who really wanted to pick up said, "हाँ यार थोड़ा inspiration चाहिए था तो आपने किया अच्छा किया I will pick up." And the walkers won't believe it. The who were walking the dog started carrying a piece of paper in their hand like this instead of in their pocket to show everyone else I am going to pick up. And all the other walkers in the area started giving them respect. उनको respect करने लगे. हाँ यार good है, it's going to pick up. Okay, and it became a kind of a sign of respect. So all the other walkers saw यार ये pick up कर रहा है, मैं भी कर रहा हूँ. Okay, this happened 10 years ago. Okay, people started picking up, that road became clean. आज तक उस road पे traffic को नहीं मिलेगा. Because it became a culture. क्वालिटी डाउन होने का रीजन है आपका कल्चर स्ट्रांग नहीं है. कल्चर स्ट्रांग क्यों नहीं है? आपका वाई स्ट्रांग नहीं है. If you are convinced that this is a good thing and you can convince other people that this is a good thing for the world, for everybody, you know what? Even if you are not interested, वो लोग अकेले जाएंगे. 10 साल के बाद आज लॉबी को नहीं मिलता है लोगों को।
Absolutely. Entire open power, you don't get dog food. Full open power. When you go on any lane, 5 lanes or the main lane or the macro track lane, you will not see dog food at all.
वो कल्चर बन गया।
It's used to it. It's become a proper culture.
Okay. Anything else? All right, folks. Thank you so much.
It's a really very innovative and we understand the new things and how to dare to do the things that all we understand in today's session, along with his personal experience and all. So I know this is the lunch time and hope everyone get their food noodles with you, so you can cash it in the canteen. Just go and have your lunch, and after 1.5 hours, we will meet again by no, sorry, within a half an hour, we will meet again here for the next session of design. We will meet here again by 2:30. Okay?
My session is more of activity.
So it is the activity-based session.
Not a lecture, it's an activity. So please
Yeah.
don't worry.
So we will meet again and we will have another session. Okay? So that